Com here with Big Al, Ron Romanelli, Brian, Chris, Al Ninos, and Jovan. I think we even have more people coming later. So I don't know how they all are going to fit on the screen. I'm not sure. I've never had this many people before, but we'll see. Rod is saying, overnight storm kicked his ass. He's got too much water to clean up. He'll see everyone next weekend. Shaka. Then he just sent that message, and Mills is just waking up. So from a tough night of UFC, I think he only lost one pick. He's been on a heater. But yeah, a lot going on in the world of sports. Week away from the All-Star break, and of course, a lot of teams still in contention. We saw the Red Sox actually get a win. Maybe they watched the show, heard my bashing of them, and woke up on that one. And of course, more bad news for Twitter, which is good news for the world. And for the world of sports betting and handicapping. No more twappers. To me, what gets me about Twitter still is the lack of accountability. It's just lazy. You could just throw up an account with zero effort, just post pics. You could put your PayPal on there, Venmo, right, is what the people put on, whatever. Is that what it's? Cash at me, And all of a sudden, it's like, some guy with a clown emoji ripped me off. It's like, gee, wonder why, I wonder why. I wonder how that happened. Anyways, got a lot going on today and a lot good. So, Al, USFL is over, Big Al. Next year's XFL, right, is back in action. Are you going to be all over that?
I will. I think the XFL will start before the USFL, if memory serves me correctly. I think the XFL will be maybe a month or two before.
So the watering down of talent, right? The watering down of talent, and that, which has been the problem with these secondary leagues to the NFL. NFL kind of one of those sports where you don't really see the guy, hang around for 17, 18 years like baseball. It's kind of like 3-4 years they're done, and usually for good reason. What exactly are we going to find? And like, was there any silver lining from the USFL, or you think like any of these guys end up catching on with the big league? Or
I mean, I don't know. I mean, they were talking. Case Cookus might get a tryout, but he didn't look like an NFL quarterback to me. So I mean, look, these leagues don't exist because it's great football to watch. They exist because of gambling. So that's what I think is interesting, is can 2 or 3 leagues survive whose real purpose is just to serve the gambling market, and that's really it.
All right.
I don't mind it. I kind of enjoyed it.
I didn't watch any of it, and I love football, which is weird. And I know that a lot of guys that I would know from college were probably involved. I don't know. I just couldn't get behind it. Kind of like watching preseason. I struggle with it, but lately, actually, since like the way that they do preseason now and the way they do roster limitations and everything, it's actually relevant players that end up playing in preseason, and a lot of quarterback battles, like as far as making the roster. Some teams that have 3 or 4, like the Panthers games, are going to be interesting in preseason this year, because we're going to see 3 quarterbacks that all competing for playing time. You have Darnold, Baker Mayfield, and Corral, right? So it's like you're going to have those 3 plus anything else that they pick up. So Panthers, those teams with the quarterback battles, generally pretty good bets in the preseason because everyone's really leaving it all on the table. But speaking of leaving it all on the table, Ron Romanelli, my favorite Twitter comment of the day, my favorite YouTube comment of the day yesterday was a guy faded all of your picks, bet $1 and won $1,222 betting against everything that you say. Yeah. I'll tell you what, if you can lose every game on the board for a 15-team parlay, that's equally as hard as winning them all. It is.
Well, I mean, I think we should make known that I didn't lose 15 games.
I mean, it's a joke. I mean, it's like
I actually had a winning day, but
of course, no, that's the best part of it. That's always
If
the
he's-
best part of it. And the day before, I think you were 13-2 or something, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
But
it's
you
just,
know,
you've
listen,
been terrible.
any way you can get there, if he's telling the truth and he got there somehow, good for him. You know, we're all going against the books together, so I don't necessarily believe that, but you know what? If he's telling the truth, good for him. Maybe some way he used my information against me and found a way to make that. But yeah, you know, it was a pretty good week so far in terms of the free plays. Premium plays, you know, they've been a little inconsistent, but had a winning day yesterday, so doing pretty well in baseball this season.
That you are. Go to Brian. Another winning day yesterday. I knew you had the Mariners. I had the Mariners with you. I was rooting you on, and when Santana hit that home run, it was like it all came together for you. So definitely, this is your best run of the baseball season. You kind of hung around, and everyone knows that Brian makes a lot of unpopular picks over the course of the season. Damages his record at times, you know. But then there are other times where it's like this is where it's paying off. It's kind of this grind in the middle of the season right now, where a lot of the big names that the percentages and the numbers and the statistics would say are easy winners, which aren't easy winners at all. They've actually been easy losers, teams where the wheels are kind of falling off the cart, like the Toronto Blue Jays. And then your teams like the Orioles and Pirates kind of coming through, especially like even yesterday, the Pirates losing the game, but coming through on the your favorite +1.5.
Pirates won yesterday.
They won. They ended up winning outright. Oh, that's right, 4-3, right?
But as far as that game you were talking about,
You have a microphone problem. There you go.
sorry about that. I don't know who the hell messed with my settings, but yeah, the Seattle Mariners super late game, and I hate those because I'm up past 12 midnight and on the edge of my seat because that was my big play. But yeah, the Pittsburgh Pirates, teams like that, Baltimore Orioles. I think the Orioles are a team you're going to be watching throughout the season. But you know, July I think is the last really good month to go heavy on baseball because once mid-August hits, you get a lot of player transactions and high money lines. So I like the month of July.
Chris Ruffalo, you've been on a little bit of a heater as well. What are you seeing out there these days?
You know, it's just about sifting through the lines and trying to find the value. You know, sometimes you see the lines in the Houston Astros games and that Kansas City Royals series creep up into the -300, 350 range, and then it's trying to find, you go with the -2.5 to try to reduce the value there. Do you go the other way when it gets to be too much? It's just sort of sifting through and finding and picking your spots. I think that's just the key part of the season. And now, like Brian said, we're going to start getting into football as well. So it's all about just focusing attention on where you feel comfortable and picking your spots. I think that's just what I've been doing lately as well.
Al Niños, another day, another dollar there for your Dodgers. Just holding on for dear life in these games against the Cubs, but still paying off. And as we talked about yesterday, still really not playing their best baseball, but still pulling away there in the National League West, getting some help from their hated rivals, the Giants, yesterday, who knocked off the Padres, giving the Dodgers another game, to pad that lead that they have going on in the West. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, one of the few teams, you mentioned a few teams that have been pretty disappointing or not coming through on those easy wins, as you said. Most of that has been due to lack of pitching, and that is one of the Dodgers' problems, but I guess they're one of the few teams that's managed to get away with it and give their starters enough run support. Not that they've been, as you said, playing their best or anything, but still doing just enough not to get the wins, but also cover those run lines.
Jovan, we bashed the Red Sox yesterday, you and I, on this show, and they come back and beat the Yankees. Cutter Crawford getting it done. They get it done again today.
I mean, hey, it's baseball, so it's a dogfight. One of the things about this series is that, for the most part, besides Game 2, these games have been pretty close. So the Red Sox tried to come back Thursday night, got smacked around Friday night. Last night, it was close, had to come back in the attempt. So, these, it's Red Sox Yankees. So no matter if both teams are good, both teams are bad, one team's good and one team's bad, it's always going to be a fight because this is one of the best rivalries in sports. So this is what you're going to get regardless.
All right, well, we got plenty of action today going on, and of course, plenty of cappers here, so got a lot of ground to cover. But let's just get it started here right out of the gate. We've got the Orioles, who have been just ridiculously red hot, and if they don't watch out, they might actually make the postseason. The way things are going, and the way some of the teams in front of them have been dropping off. We've got the Braves and the Nationals. Let's see, bring a glove to this one. If you're headed out to the ballpark, you got low humidity with Ian Anderson against Espino. It's not good for the defense. And then you've got Taijuan Walker up against Sandy Alcantara for the Marlins. Interesting game. Walker has got about a week left in his season. He normally falls apart after the All-Star break, so they got a good week out of him. But Scherzer and DeGrom returning to the lineup for the Mets, but more importantly for the Mets, they got the Braves tomorrow, and this is where the rubber will meet the road, and then we'll find out exactly who's who in the National League East in tomorrow's action. Big Al, what do you think of these games?
With these three, I'm going to take Atlanta minus the 1.5 runs. You've got Espino in his career 0-2 versus the Braves with a 10.00 ERA. Ian Anderson, he's also made 2 starts in his career versus Washington. 1-0 in those 2 games with a 3.27 ERA. The Nats 7-32 in division games this year. Atlanta minus 1.5 runs at minus 110 odds.
Go to Ron Romanelli. Ron, what do you think of this slot?
Yeah, I agree with that Atlanta run line play. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, and I just think the Braves lineup's in a better place right now. I think they're going to definitely do a lot of damage on Paolo Espino, a guy who we're seeing already regress in his last couple outings, giving up 2 home runs apiece to the Pirates and Phillies, 4 earned runs in each of those outings, and he really is not a guy that's going to go too deep either. So he's gone 8 innings, 8 earned runs. So against this Braves lineup that's just crushed righties, I think the Braves will score double digits themselves. You look at the Baltimore Orioles. Mitch mentioned, the hottest team in baseball right now. A 7-game win streak, I believe. Another walk-off win. To me, there's just no reason to try to be cute and take the Angels here. I mean, the good thing about streaks, I always hear, is you can only lose once. And the Orioles are just red hot. The Angels are freezing cold. I think they're 11-30 in their last 41 games. So the Orioles have crushed left-handed pitching, and in the last 30 days. So I'm going to take them on the money line here.
All right, Chris.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Yurfie in that Atlanta Washington game. I just think the runs are coming early and often. I'm probably gonna take an extended first inning line. Over 2.5 plus 450, over 3.5 runs in the first inning plus 1050. It's like we've said before. This is just going to be a game where runs are going to come on the board in bunches. I don't trust Ian Anderson or Paolo Espino. I think last time we saw Anderson against the Nationals finished with 14 runs, and I think a bunch of those came really early in the game. So I'm looking for the fireworks to start early in this one in the first inning.
I believe Espino has been involved in more double-digit games than any other pitcher in all of baseball, and I'm not saying that he's given up the double-digit runs. I'm just saying when he's out on the mound, I've seen more 15s and 18s than I think I've ever seen before in my life with one pitcher. Looking at their past performances, and I'm not, like I said, he wasn't responsible for the 18 runs twice in games that he pitched in, or the 15 runs that were involved in 2 of the games that he also pitched. That's a lot of runs for 4 baseball games. He's also got a few 11s in there, I mean, as well. So it's not like Paolo's any stranger to the big numbers there. Brian, how about you?
Well, I'm going to stick to the one play thing. There's so many good games here, these first 3. But if I had to pick one thing to go with, I'm going to take it might be a Captain Obvious play, but I'm going to take the under 7, and the Marlins and Mets. We got Taijuan Walker. I think he's on 5 straight quality starts. And Sandy Alcantara's been absolutely fabulous all season with his 1.82 ERA and his WHIP of 0.90. I just think this is a 2-to-1 type of score. I'm going to take the under 7 here.
Al Ninos?
Yeah, not sure we agree on the other plays, but I do agree with Brian on this under here. I think should be a great pitchers duel. We've all seen what Alcantara's been doing all season long, and Walker a bit less consistent, but still having a great season. And yeah, he limited this lineup to 3 runs in 6 innings his last outing. I think he does at least that well this time around, and we have a low scoring game here.
Jovan?
Yeah, I cashed on the Orioles. It was one of my premium plays, and I'm going to roll with them again today. You know, when you catch these teams, especially these call Baltimore up-and-coming team at this point, the way they've been playing, especially at home, you know, basically have to ride them. You know, there was a 1-0 game with, you know, you could say a pitcher who didn't really expect him to, you know, pitch shutout ball, but he did. And even though he's been pitching good, and, you know, Austin Voth can't really say he's been pitching that well, but got Jose Suarez on the other side. So, you know, just keep on riding them. They're playing a weak team, a cold team, just like Ron said, 10-31 in their last 41. So, you know, keep on riding these hard teams. That's how it is in baseball sometimes. Just gotta ride it, regardless of what the numbers say.
I'm going to go with the over 5.5 strikeouts for Sandy Alcantara in that Mets Marlins game. Couple reasons. Number one, the Mets have a lot of guys that take big cuts at the ball. I think Pete Alonso is one of those guys, and I think he's good for a couple strikeouts himself in this matchup. And I think the other thing is that Alcantara definitely goes deep into games. And I think when you have a guy that goes deep into games, probably less than a strikeout an inning is what we're looking at here. And I think he has the ability to have at least 1 or 2 strikeout innings, you know, even if he gives up a hit or a walk in between those. So I just think the numbers just kind of point to -113 odds on the over 5.5 strikeouts for Alcantara in that game. Seems pretty easy money. That's at Bet Rivers. I got that from the betting tools, which I get a lot of these type of picks from because I don't have time to research each player myself. I let the betting tools do it for me. Anyways, got the next set of games, and they are the Reds and the Rays, the Royals and the Guardians, and the White Sox against the Tigers. Big Al?
You know, I'm actually not a fan of any of.
We call that a Ruffalo if you want it. You could.
Yeah, I know. I mean, with a gun to my head, you know, I'll probably take the Rays. I had them yesterday. A very, very tough extra inning loss, 5-4. They're up 3-0. They give up 3 runs in the bottom of the 8th, and they go 4-3 in the top of the 10th, and then they bring in Fauché, and I have no idea why they brought in Fauché, but I mean, I think he's still pitching and trying to get his first out because, you know, he was just, you know, it was like throwing gasoline on a fire. And so, you know, Cincinnati had a walk-off win there. So I think maybe I'd take, you know, Tampa Bay with Shane Baz here. But it's not, you know, it's bottom of the barrel for me.
Got Ron Romanelli.
Yeah, this is a tough segment here. I'm going to lean towards the Guardians here on the money line. You know, it's tough because I'm really not a big fan of Zach Plesac. I do think the regression is coming in his game. A sub-4 ERA right now, but you look at his barrel percentage, average exit velo, very, very well below average. And the only reason why I do like Cleveland is because I think their offense is going to do more than the Royals right now. You look at Zach Greinke, guy who's really struggling as of late. You know, last outing, 6 earned runs, 2 homers, 10 hits against his former team. And we saw the Guardians put up 13 runs, 23 base hits in the game yesterday. Now, a lot of that was late when the Royals brought in Michael Taylor to pitch, but still, you know, this lineup can crush righties. We saw Quan, Rosario, Ramirez all have 3 hits, Jimenez as well. I think they get to Greinke more than the Royals get to Plesac. So I'm going to lean towards the over, but I'll take the Guardians on the money line.
Chris?
Yeah, I'm going to follow that up. I'm going to take the Guardians as well. Zach Greinke coming off a start where he allowed 6 runs to the Houston Astros. I know the Astros are a hot-hitting team, and the Guardians maybe not so much. But for me, this just boils down to the same theory I had yesterday. The Guardians are just the better team that are hitting the ball a bit better right now, and I just think Plesac, 2 earned runs or less in each of his last 4 starts. I think the Guardians get to Greinke before the Royals get to Plesac here. So give me the Guardians on the money line.
Brian?
Yeah, I agree. This is a very tough slot, but if I had to pick one, I'd probably take the Detroit Tigers here plus 1.5. I've been a White Sox guy pretty consistently, but I think Kopech's given up 9 runs over his last 2 starts, and Chicago White Sox at home on the run line just 12-30, while the Detroit Tigers 22-15 on the run line on the road. I just think the Tigers backdoor him here with a 9th inning run. I'm gonna take Detroit plus 1.5.
Yeah, that 4.30 of Hutchinson, way better than anything Kopech could deliver.
Hutchinson stinks. Kopech has much more talent, but I think the Tigers can score a few off of him.
Well, Big Al's thought process that we've seen, the Tigers lose a lot of games that Hutchinson starts, like all of them. I think the overall, just looking at it and putting the numbers together off of real quickly here, the Tigers have 2, so 2-1, 3-1, 3-2, 3-3. So they're about 4-6 or so, or worse in games that Hutchinson starts. So actually, they've won a bunch of games that he started recently. So I don't know. Johnny Cueto looking like the first ballot Hall of Famer that he is.
He's
yesterday.
Awesome.
He was,
White Sox are choke artists, though. I could see him giving up a 9th inning runner blast, meaningless to everybody but the bettors. So.
Oh, no one knows choke artists like Philly fans. Anyways, Al Niños, what do you got?
I will, don't love this pick, but with the wind blowing out and these 2 starters going at it, I think we can see that Guardians and Royals game going over.
All right. Jovan?
Yeah, and I'll also take the over in this game. Zach Greinke gave up 6 runs in his last start. He just doesn't have the stuff anymore. It's been at least a couple, 3 seasons since he really hasn't had his stuff. Zach Plesac, not a big fan, even though he has been pitching well in his last couple starts. I think he'll give up a couple on his own, and one of these bullpens are going to give it up. So I like this total at 9 to go over. Should hit at least 11 runs, I think, in some way, somehow.
I really like the White Sox today, and I like the under 2.5 strikeouts for Drew Hutchison, who's under 2.5 strikeouts, hit at an alarming 100% over his last 5 trips to the hill. Look for the White Sox to just absolutely light him up like a Christmas tree. I love the White Sox first 5. I like the White Sox team total over. I like the under 2.5 strikeouts for Hutchison, and pretty much the Yerfie. We'll call it the full Monty on the Chicago White Sox in this game. Big Al, what are you selling today?
Well, I've got one baseball play today. Looking to bounce back off that loss yesterday on the Tampa Bay Rays, and that's it. Just one MLB play.
Ron, what are you selling?
I got my Ron's Rundown MLB best bet today, and I also got my other 2 premium plays in a 3-pack with that Rundown best bet. We had a winning day overall despite not cashing that best bet, but I really like today's top play and my other premiums as well, so you can check that out.
Red Hot Ruffalo, what do you got?
I got my $15 pickoff play today, and going for 3 straight hits with that one, and also got another 3-pack, my Sunday Smash, the $15 pickoff play not included in that 3-pack. So I have 4 plays in total. If you want everything, grab something long-term. Use that code July14, 14% off.
Brian finally stringing together some titanium winners. What do you got today?
Finally. Well, hell hasn't frozen over just yet, but going for 3 straight days of 3-0 sweeps, 21-8 last 29. I got my best bet, MLB Titanium play. You can pick that up over at pickdogs.com, or my American League Eastern Division Game of the Year. Make sure you check that out for just $30 at pickdogs.com, or all 3 of the selections together. That includes the Titanium and the Game of the Year. $50 my Square Dancing 3-pack. We're going to be dancing later tonight, so make sure you guys check it out.
Al Ninos.
Yeah, I got my best bet up there, and also have a 5-pack for everyone that wants a little more action. So up to you which way you want to go.
Jovan.
Yeah, I have my Show Me the Money Sunday MLB 3-pack. I also have my 3 plays sold separately, led by the Laser Show, which won again. So I'm gonna keep this going, hopefully, and have another win today. Went 3-1 yesterday, so check it out.
I got my big play today, and I also have a ton of other picks. So if you have my long-term package, get it. Today's the day. I love today's card. This is my favorite card of the entire season. Love it. I think today's easy pickings. Famous last words. It's as easy as that Yankees over Red Sox yesterday.
That was never in question. Never in question yesterday.
It was.
I gotta admit, I gave up when they went up by 2 in the extras.
Got the A's and the Astros going at it. The Padres and the Giants, and the Mariners and the reeling Blue Jays going at it. Al, any of these that you like?
Well, speaking of easy pickings, I guess going against Oakland at home this year, 11-31 minus 18.6 net games on the money line. Houston 48-20 plus 13.0 net games as a favorite this year. Cole Irvin, he's made 5 starts in his career versus the Astros, and the A's are 0-5 in those 5 games. He's got a 6.15 career ERA versus the Astros. I guess easy pickings would be the Houston Astros here.
Ron Romanelli, is it ever easy pickings with Jake Odorizzi serving?
Maybe not so, but it is easy pickings when the Astros are facing a lefty these days. They've been crushing left-handed pitching, and I think they get to Irvin quite a bit. I wasn't impressed with Odorizzi last time out, but I think he does a good enough job here against a pretty weak Oakland A's lineup to get Houston the win and the cover. I also do like the Blue Jays here to bounce back from what looks like a couple losses now in a row on the road. There are a few games under 500 on the road, but Logan Gilbert's a guy that I am looking to fade quite a bit as the season continues. I think the value is against him right now. He's got a 10-3 record, 2.61 ERA, looks really good on paper. However, when you look at his last few outings, he's getting hit a lot harder. He's giving up home runs, walking a lot of batters. The strikeout numbers are going down, a lot of base hits as well. And he really hasn't even faced that tough of lineups. The Padres, A's, Angels twice. So, those teams below average offenses in terms of against right-handed pitching. So the Blue Jays have crushed righties in the last 30 days, even despite their losing streak. So I think they get to Gilbert here, and I think they get the win. So I'll take them on the money line.
Whoa. Ruffalo.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Minnesota Twins here. I don't love backing Dylan Bundy on the road. The thing is that the Rangers, for whatever reason, they had that big offensive burst yesterday. If they don't win with Dane Dunning on the mound, they've lost 9 straight starts as a team by Dunning, 12 of the last 13. And Dylan Bundy, as much as I bashed him and as much as, I don't like his ERA that's over 6 on the road, it was at close to 9 just a couple of weeks ago. He's thrown in a couple of solid road outings. I think the Twins want to bounce back after a frustrating loss in Saturday's matchup. So give me the Minnesota Twins on the money line in that one.
Brian.
I had this written up as a premium, but kind of got gun shy last minute. But as far as free picks go, I think it's very strong. I'm going to take the over 8 in the Astros and A's. I think this game's going to look very similar to Game 1, where these two teams combined for 11. Jake Odorizzi, definitely capable of giving up 4 or 5 runs. And I think the Astros hit Irvin pretty hard here, Cole Irvin. So I'm going to take the over 8, Astros A's.
Yeah, if you're headed to the ballpark in Oakland, probably a good chance to get a baseball. Going to be a lot of empty seats there. Not going to be a lot of competition. Probably a lot of balls leaving the park. Al Niños.
Yeah, I don't really see a total right now, but I kind of think it's going to be pretty low, and I think this game will go over with the Blue Jays looking like they're going to go with a bullpen game here. And well, we all know how terrible that bullpen's been. They're not hitting the ball too well, but they still have a pretty good lineup. So I like the Blue Jays, the Mariners game to go over the total.
Jovan.
Real quick, list off the three again.
It is the where are we? Got the Astros, A's, the Padres, Giants, and the Blue Jays, Mariners.
Blue Jays, Mariners. Sheesh. You know, I was going on the other side of this one. With Logan Gilbert on the mound. You know, really don't have a good grip on this these slated games. So just off of just off of a sheer hunch, I think the Mariners keep it rolling. So that's my only thoughts on these three.
We welcome the red hot Mills Young to the show. Mills, how are you doing today?
Doing good. Thanks for having me today.
Of course.
Trying to make it on time.
Thanks for making it here. We're on these three sets of games. Why don't you give us a pick for these, and then let us know what you have going on today at Pick Dogs as well.
Yeah, I'm looking that Giants and Padres game. Mackenzie Gore's been good as of late. 3 of 5, I think, in his last 5 starts. One of the games he gave up 8 runs. I think it was against Colorado. Besides that, I'm kind of a fan of his ever since they called him up this year. On the other hand, I think they got Alex Wood over there with Giants. Can't really trust him no farther than you can throw him. Been on team to team. I lean the Padres in that game. And then I heard you guys talking about that Twins and Rangers game a little bit earlier. 2 trash can pitchers I don't trust either. I would lean the over in that game. And the Blue Jays and Mariners game, that one, to be honest, don't really got a good read on it. None of the pitchers that I really usually bet on are back. So on that one, I would just, I'll be honest, on the last game on that one, I don't even got a play or anything. I'll just keep it and pass it on.
All right. What are you selling today, Pick Dogs?
Man, so I got 2 plays on the board right now. I got my MLB winners only, and then I got my Money Loves Baseball. Both plays guaranteed, or else, you can go ahead and get that 3-day pass as well. One of the games going to be kicking off a little bit early, so you got to get a little bit now. One of the games going to be a little bit later on the slate, so you got plenty of time to go ahead and get the best line.
All right, I like Brian's over pick in the A's Astros game with Odorizzi and Irvin going, but I also like the Nerfy here as the Nerfy has hit the Astros' last 7 games in Oakland. I think you could probably hedge out with the Altuve home run. It's just one of those things that there has to be a way to play this. Where you get that Nerfy and, maybe the hedge out is an Altuve home run or something. But I think you're better off just sticking with the Nerfy. Like I said, 7 in a row at Oakland. The last 7 games there for the Astros have all Nerfied, which doesn't mean that the game's going to go under. I don't know. I think the Nerfy is counterintuitive. Like I've said a million times, counterintuitive the way that the average bettor bets, because the average bettor loves the over, and yet they love the Nerfy. So it's kind of like doesn't really make sense. You're betting against yourself when you do that, which I see people do all the time. Which doesn't matter if you're hitting $1,222 parlays out of $1, just fading Romanelli's picks. On a day he has a winning day, which just makes it even tougher. Anyways, speaking of tougher, we've got the Diamondbacks and the Rockies. Tyler Gilbert on the mound against German Marquez. You've got Urias on the mound for the Dodgers, minus 275 against Drew Smyly and the Cubs. And then you've got the nightcap, the Boston Red Sox. Nick Pivetta serving it up against the Yankees. Al, what do you think?
Oh, this game's tough for me, the night game, only because, it's a rivalry series, the biggest rivalry in baseball. In the last 27 meetings, I think there have been 3 pick'em games, and then the underdog has won 11 of the other 24 outright. So I generally don't want to take the road favorite here, but I don't think I have another choice. I'm going to take a look at, Tyone and the Yankees over Pavetta. Tyone, he's made 4 starts versus Boston in his career. He's 2-0 with a 1.46 ERA and a 1.13 WHIP. Pavetta 0-2 in 3 starts versus the Yankees with a 6.39 ERA and a 1.34 WHIP. Red Sox 10-20 minus 11 games versus the division this year. So I'm going to take the Yankees here minus $1.35.
Ron?
Yeah, this is a tough nightcap. I think the Sunday night baseball game is my best bet for the rundown, but for the other 2 plays, not a lot of value to go around. I think that Rockies Diamondbacks game is a pick 'em for a reason. I mentioned that on the show. I just don't see a ton of an edge either way. I would lean towards the Rockies just because they do hit lefties very well, and Gilbert has really struggled. But I mean, German Marquez hasn't been easy to back this season either, so I wouldn't blame you if you went either way there. But for that Cubs Dodgers game, not a lot of value to go around when you're laying that kind of price with the Dodgers, but I do think it's the only way I would go. Drew Smiley, not a guy that I back very often, 2-5 with a modest 3.8 ERA, but still, before he went down with an injury, he wasn't pitching very well. His last outing was decent against the Brewers, but previous to that one, giving up 3 earned to the Reds, 3 earned to the Pirates, 4 earned to the Diamondbacks. Not very strong lineups to begin with, so I do think the Dodgers get to him, and Urias has been pitching well this season, as he usually does, so I think he's good enough here for another close run line cover for the Dodgers.
Ruffalo.
Yeah, one I like the best for this time. So I'm going to go with the over 9 in that Rockies Diamondbacks game. Like Ron said, the Rockies hitting lefties extremely well, especially on the road this season. And I'm not buying into whatever Tyler Gilbert's selling. There's a reason this guy hasn't consistently held a spot in the Diamondbacks rotation. So I'm liking the over, especially with German Marquez on the other side. Usually has an ERA over 6 wherever he's been pitching this season. So I think this one gets to closer to 11 or 12 runs. Give me the over 9 Diamondbacks Rockies.
Brian?
Yeah, I don't do it very often, but I'm going to back the Dodgers today. They haven't been a bad run line team, but in this situation, I'm going to lay 2.5 here. I think Urias gives them 6-7 strong innings here for the Dodgers. And Drew Smiley, a guy I used to love fading in years past. I think this is a 5-2, 6-2 game. So just a lean to the Dodgers on the alternate run line minus 2.5.
Al Ninos.
Yeah, I kind of do see an edge in that Rockies Diamondbacks game, and it's gonna be the Rockies lineup. So I think the Colorado gets the job done today against Tyler Gilbert and Diamondbacks.
Jovan?
Yeah, the first 3 games were between the Yankees and Red Sox have gone over, but I think in this one you see a reversal of fortunes in this one. I think both of these pitchers have solid starts. They haven't been pitching good, that's for sure. But I think with this one being Sunday night baseball, you catch some of these matchups where two pitchers are not really pitching good, and then they show out for the bright lights. And I think this one, not gonna say that it's shutout baseball by either of these teams, but I think it'll go under the 9.
Mills?
Yeah, that Dodger game, pretty interesting to look at. Julio Urias, I think he's 4-1 in his last 5 starts. Usually struggles pitching in day games, but not as of late. Only gave up more than 2 runs once out of those last 5 starts. And his K prop, he's been hitting that too at a good rate. So I look at that game and I actually lean the under in that game. That Yankee game, the best game on the board. Got some stuff on that game, but can't speak too much on that. That Rockies game, I do lean that the Rockies would be able to go ahead and get the win in that game. But that Dodgers game, I like the under, and then I actually look at Urias' strikeout prop as well.
I like Aaron Judge over 1.5 hits in the Yankees-Red Sox game, plus 190. This prop is hit 80% of the time in his last 10 games. I don't know. Give me plus 190 on 80%. I'll take my chances. Seems like a good value against Nick Pivetta at Fenway. I don't know. Just to me, it's amazing that the thing is that in the last 5, it has not been as strong, but over the longer body of work, one of those betting tools things just jumped off the page at me. I let the betting tools do the work for you on those player props. There's no way you could do it yourself. There's no way you could cover it like that. Well, I guess you could. You're up all night and all day, and I still don't even think you could do it.
Nah, the player props on the sports chat and on Pick Dog's website is the best out. Like, honestly, all you got to do is just scour on there for like 10, 15 minutes. You could put together some winners on yourself, and you'll feel confident.
Our competitors are doing shows.
So you feel good about it.
Our competitors are doing shows using our betting tools as their content. Like they're just reading off our betting tools on their shows. I know. I've had people email me and say, "Hey, these guys are doing a whole show just reading off the information from your betting tools." It's like, I believe it.
They probably bought a package though too, so
No, I don't think so. I don't think they buy a package. I think they just go to the betting tools because they know that they don't have that information. They just read it off like they know something. Anyway, speaking of knowing something, it's parlay time. We know Big Al loves a good parlay. You could do a player prop parlay. That would probably really be the shocker for today. Or you could just do a regular parlay. Or you can go to our betting tools, just click on best parlay and let the parlay builder build it for you. What do you like?
What do I like? I think I've got to go with Atlanta minus the 1.5 runs, and I'm going to parlay that with the Houston Astros.
Got Ron Romanelli. His audience loves a good parlay.
Yep, they sure do. I'm going to give out a team total parlay. I'm going to go Atlanta Braves team total over, parlayed with the Toronto Blue Jays team total over, and the Houston Astros team total over.
Chris Ruffalo?
I'm going to go with the Washington Nationals Atlanta Braves year fee. I'm going to go with the Minnesota Twins on the money line and the over 9 Diamondbacks Rockies.
Brian?
I'm going to take the Oakland A's and Houston Astros over the total, Marlins, Mets under, and the Detroit Tigers plus 1.5.
And then we've got Al Niños.
I'll go Padres, Rockies, Mets, Marlins under.
I've lost Jovan. Is he still with us? Nope, he's not. Got Mills then. Mills?
I'll go ahead and go with the little easy 2-leg degenerate parlay. Atlanta Braves money line, New York Yankees money line, plus 160 out there. Shop around for the best line.
Jovan is back for his parlay.
Yeah, real quick. Just a quick two-teamer. Guardians, Royals over, and Yankees, Red Sox under.
I'm just going to go to the best parlay tool. Just put in a 4-teamer right out of the gate. It gave me 4 player props. Francisco Lindor to hit a home run. Lindor has hit a home run in each of the Mets' last 2 games. He's plus 480. Josh Donaldson to hit a home run. Has hit a home run in 3 of the Yankees' last 4 games. I love the Josh Donaldson home run prop at plus 400 anyway today. Corey Seager to hit a home run, including extra innings. Seager's hit a home run in 3 of the Rangers' last 4 games. He's plus 340. The Rangers, of course, playing against the Twins. And then you've got the 4th leg. They say Brandon Drury to have at least 1 RBI in the game today for the Jays. Drury's recorded at least 1 RBI in each of the Reds, or against the Rays. Drury has recorded at least 1 RBI in each of the Reds' last 3 games, and that's at plus 210. So this $10 parlay pays only, this is a Romanelli comment parlay, $10 pays $3,955.60. So there you have it.
Lock.
It's a parlay lock.
It's pretty conservative, if you ask me. I think you should be more daring.
Well, you know, it's like, why stop at 4? We could, you know, the beauty of the parlay builder is you can go all the way up to 10 for the best parlay. And it's like right now I changed it to 10, and $10 pays $667,000, $667,502 and 2 cents. Got some tennis in there. You know, some clay court tennis though. That's tomorrow. So actually, you'd have 2 tennis matches in there for tomorrow in that prop. But you could actually the way our prop tool works, our parlay builder, you can just you can actually scroll out there and change it out. We'll move to this one, and if you change out this tennis to something that's going today, let's see. Yep, you can. This parlay though only pays $10. Only pays $391,050.44. So, not quite the $660,000, but you'd have to settle for $391,050. It'd be a real happy day for our friends over at Bet Rivers. If when you hit that too, they'd be happy to write you that check. Anyways, thanks everyone for joining us. Thanks all of our cappers: Al McMorty, Ron Romanelli, Chris Ruffalo, Brian Bittler, Al Ninos, Jovan Burtz, and Mills Young. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. Thanks, everyone that watched. And smash that like button. We'll be back tomorrow, as always. Short card, but never short on winners. Make it a great day, winning day, all that kind of good stuff. We appreciate each and every one of you.